Where is the star of the show?
Oh, he's here sleeping.
That's perfect because today we're going to talk about storefronts in the pets category.
Ooh, my favorite. Let's do it.
First brand is Altira. We've worked with Altira.
Altira is a great one and an exceptional version of a storefront. There's some learning lessons that a lot of brands can take from this one. One, always make your products as drool worthy as possible. So if you have a food or a food supplement or anything in the food and beverage space, you want to show off your product. And this product actually lends itself to that because it's a dog gravy. And so in almost every shot, you'll see that we incorporated lots of shots of the dripping going on or the shine that you see on top of the food. We have close-ups of the food. Best practice that we'll probably see repeated over and over again is that people like to see their pet. They like to see their pet's age. They like to see their pet's size. They like to see their pet's breed. So you want to have a mix of colors, mix of breeds, mix of sizes, mix of ages going on your content. So that is just a best practice. Even here, if you look at the little drizzle coming out of the bottle, you see a lot of these best practices. The other thing that we've seen in our testing is that 80% shows that brighter color palettes are winning. So we did some split testing with this brand and with a lot of our pet brands. And what we do is we try to amplify the vibrancy and bring that into storefront as well. So you'll see that everything here looks really crisp and vibrant and the whole flow from top to bottom. The learning lesson you'll see with all of the examples that we're going to showcase in this video today, though, is that everything is custom designed on the storefront to feel like a landing page and to increase conversion. Every product is very easy to sort through, very easy to navigate. You know exactly what this brand sells, and it's very clear and attractive, and it makes you want to give this to your dog right there. Look at that dog is like really wanting that gravy. So,
One thing I also really love is the last module. It shows everything that's inside. Just so transparent. It's all the good stuff, you know?
That's a great point.
The next one is PetLab Co. This is for any brand who thinks that their storefront should be cute pictures of dogs. Pet Labs does something a little different. They lead with proof. This one says clinically tested to reduce buildup by 25% in 90 days. Vet reviewed formula. And then they show the reviews. So what they're doing is they're not just telling you it's a good product, they're showing you proof. And then they're showing you exactly what's inside. It's all the good stuff. Something else that is doing so much more for them than it looks is the under 30 seconds test. It's basically them asking, what's your dog's main need right now? And then you click on either one. Let's say you click on skin coat or itching. Then it's going to ask you the next question, how big is your dog? And then let's say if it's medium. And then it just suggests you products instead of you having to dig into their entire catalog.
I'll add another point here. If you look at something that PetLab Co does really well across their content, not just on their storefront, is they're bringing in the actual figures and they're bringing in trust and they're actually naming the specific outcome of their products. So it's not just a generic wellness product. We're talking about the specific function. We've seen time and time again with our testing across pet brands is that type of specificity is what wins in split testing and builds trust with the consumer. And that specifically has been shown to win in 53% of our split testing that we've done in the category. So it's definitely a best practice that brands should be deploying whenever possible.
I so agree. When we scroll down, you're going to see this video. Basically, real customers talking about how healthy their pets are now after using PetLab. And it's a fast video, it's fun, and it's so authentic. And it honestly makes me love this brand. The takeaway is that converting doesn't mean that everything needs to be pretty and every image needs to be a dog drooling. There needs to be proof. And PetLab nails that.
Actually, there's data to back this up as well. There's a high gender divergence split in our split testing that we've seen in the pet category. So 62% of men tend to prefer lifestyle imagery of the dog, and 78% of women prefer packaging. So they prefer bright, bold, recognizable brand colors in the packaging, where the men prefer more of lifestyle image shots, which is surprising. I would have thought that the women would prefer the lifestyle shots. But when you're creating content for this category, you would want to be thinking of both audiences unless your product specifically skews towards one gender. So just something to keep in mind that you need a blend of both so that you're not turning off one part of the audience.
Agree. Agreed. Next brand is Maev.
Maeve is for me like the it girl right now in the pet food space. I love seeing what they're doing. Their aesthetic is so great. It reminds me of a lot of the clinical forward supplement brands that we're seeing, but they're bringing that to the pet space. It feels so clean, so modern, so science driven. It's taking that science driven type of design that we typically see in supplements and beauty and applying it to the food category. So it's just an awesome trend to see them executing on so well.
Yeah, and I feel like it's attracting such a specific audience. People who are buying all organic, vegan, and super clean products for themselves. They
Yeah.
want the same thing for their dogs. And this all white background, it feel like such a clean brand, and
Yeah.
it's attracting that kind of audience.
Absolutely. I'm a fan of the background videos that they're using too. And if you look at every single food shot of their product, it actually looks so attractive. And that's something that's through in a lot of our testing as well. Anytime that you're showing the food format, you're typically going to skew extra conversion clicks your way. So we've seen this across chewable treats. We've seen across little pill supplements for pets, powdered foods for pets, those types of polls. Whenever you're showing the actual food in an attractive format, will win in testing anywhere from 63% up to 70% of the time. And they're just deploying this throughout the entire design, which is such a smart strategy.
Next brand is Tartar Shield.
Tartar Shield was one that we are lucky enough to get to work with. This was a really fun project for us because they lean into really emotional driven imagery of the pets throughout. But you'll notice here on this one, we opened up with a family product shot because a lot of times what we've noticed in our testing across A+ content and storefronts is that when you can lead with a family of product shot, it helps immediately build trust with the customer because they're thinking, oh, this is a legitimate brand. Because they have a lot of products, they must actually be an established brand. And so anytime that you have a great family of product, I would recommend highlighting it at the very top of your content and at the very least split testing it at the top of your content to see how it performs. You could also add hotspots to this image to immediately drive to your best sellers. Some other things that you'll notice in this design is that we went for a vibrant approach and leaned into the brand colors. We could have gone with a more muted tone of the burgundy that you saw, but we incorporated the yellow as a highlight color. And what we've noticed in our split testing in this category is that this typically beats out a more muted or mellow color palette 80% of the time. So we really leaned into that. And then lastly, if you just look at the entire design, we really leaned into these fun imagery of the pets, like getting curious, having fun, just incorporating that throughout the entire design, bringing in their community of pets. That's another thing that is just so cute because rather than having human testimonials, why not have testimonials from our furry friends, right?
I love the fact that they have this badge here. Knowing that it is vet trusted makes me feel very safe buying this.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point because when you're selling anything in the pet category, especially on Amazon, people are afraid of buying certain products from certain countries because they feel like it might not be safe. And so anytime that you can have someone endorse your product or you can build trust by giving them transparency in the process, the ingredients, the results, any of that, you're going to help to ease people's fears. The first thing pet owners are going to do is they're going to go check the reviews because they don't want their pet to get sick. They don't want their pet to have any problems. And those vet bills can be very expensive. So if you're letting people know that this is vet trusted, then you feel good about making the purchase and you feel like this is a safe thing that you can give your probably favorite loved one in the world, which is your pet.
I love that. So next brand is the Woofes. First of all, this one, honestly, it's very easy to think about why this is doing so well because the second you land over here, it's just so easy on your eyes. Like the contrast of the dark green and the white text is just very easy for my eyes to go through. In fact, it's so fun scrolling. Nothing is fighting for attention. Every time you're scrolling, your eyes know exactly where to look at. It's so well designed. And honestly, this part is what I love the most. It's how easy they've made the navigation. If you know what you are looking for, you can just click on it and go there.
Not only that with the navigation, but can we just stop a minute, pause, and look at the way that all the dogs are about to put their nose in the treat or sniff or get close to it? Like, I love that creative direction on this. The fact that there's just that extra element of fun with all the pets kind of facing the same way, except that little corgi. He's out of place. He needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Every little section has its own button, and you know if you know exactly what your dog needs, you're just one tap away.
This is what every storefront should strive for. Your navigation, what I like to explain with the storefront is, if possible, you want to have two ways that people navigate your storefront. So by the type of pet that they have, is it a cat or is it a dog? And by the function. So is it joint support, seasonal support? Like, what is the function? If you have those two ways built into your navigation, any type of shopper can quickly get to what they need. And that's the point. We need to make it so easy for them to find the solution to the problem that is in their head, immediately add it to cart.
Absolutely. They're solving by the problem, not by the product. It's making it so easy for the shopper. They literally never have to dig, and they nail it. There's no rabbit holes. There's no getting lost.
And here again, you see that they have a testimonial from a trusted vet. So just like the other example, you're seeing that they're bringing in that trust factor. So just a best practice that most pet brands should be bringing in is some sort of trust validation throughout your design, not just in one section, but really well done on this one. This brand has an advantage also, that they have this neon green that really grabs your attention. If you remember at the start of this video, I mentioned that you want to show different breeds of dogs, different ages of dogs, different sizes of dogs, and they did this so well here, where again, you're seeing all the different breeds. So there's a higher likelihood that me as the customer, I'm gonna find the breed of my dog. I'm just gonna say this right now, Woofs, you should have a Frenchie on your designs here on your storefront. They're like the most beloved #1 dog in the United States. I think they were like the favorite last year in all of the United States.
And Woofs, if you need a model, Chachi's here and he is willing to participate, willing and able. He is a very good model.
The next brand is Pet's Table, and I've been waiting for this one because this might be one of my favorite in the whole lineup, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, first, as we scroll, it's just the vibes. You land on their storefront and you're seeing all these colors and these pictures, big images of the dog.
Those are great, beautiful, beautiful photography of people interacting with their pets in those moments. And these are actual like studio shots. It's really great to see, especially in this day of AI fatigue where we all get a little bit tired by seeing AI. We want to see real pets, real dogs, real moments, real people. Kudos to you guys, Pets Table. I love this. Well done.
If you scroll down, you're gonna see that they're borrowing trust from HelloFresh. This is a brand that you already trust, and that is very genius because you already trust HelloFresh and you're gonna trust the Pets Table with your dog's food. And that credibility from HelloFresh is just transferred over instantly.
Yeah.
And they also hit you with a comparison table. So right at the top, they're letting you know this is us. No artificial preservatives, colors, flavors, or fillers. We stand by this. This is who we are. But others, they have added colors, they're highly processed, all of these things that you don't want to buy for your dog. So that just makes it so easy to choose them.
Agreed. And do you see all of the amount of space that we have on a storefront to really help educate the customer? Like, this is the benefit of being able to customize your storefront. You actually have all of this space without all of the interruption of all the ads to help customers truly understand why your product is better than the competition. There really isn't another space on Amazon for you to do this. So this is the advantage of bringing custom content to an Amazon storefront. And not only that, not just on your homepage, but you can do this on every single subpage. Treat it as a landing page on Amazon, and you can test driving traffic to those subpages with much more control than you can by driving to PDP. This is what we're seeing with the brands that are at the next level. They're bringing in this custom content and really focused on conversion.
Exactly. And storefronts are the only uninterrupted place on your Amazon.
Look at these custom icons. These are so great. I love this.
Yes, right? Right off the bat, they're like, this is what we stand for. This is what makes us special. They are shouting about it on their storefront.
Picky eater approved. Imagine if you had a picky eater and you were concerned. They're just telling you right there, this is the product for you if you have a picky eater. Fantastic.
Exactly. Also, you're going to see that they have all of these images. These are not product photography. These are literally real dogs, real customers using their products for their dogs. And it says, we have served over 30 million meals. There's nothing else I need to hear after hearing this to buy this for my dog.
Yes, this is another great example of bringing in your community of dogs. Instead of bringing in the humans, bring in the dogs that love your product. And to be honest, you can't even go over the top with this. Like, people want to see dogs. They want to see cats. They fall in love with seeing the photos of the animals. So shower your design with those beautiful faces and moments from your pets.
Right. And then you have real numbers over here. It says 4 out of 5 dog parents see an improvement in their dog's health after switching to our food. And these are coming from real customers. I'm already convinced and I'm sold after seeing these numbers.
If you look at the fine print right there, it tells you that they ran this study themselves based on 1,000+ customers of Pet's Table. So this is something that, like you've said in the past, more brands could be doing this. Send out an email to your customers, ask them a few questions about your product, and take the best, most qualified things that they're saying about your product and build it into a strong infographic like this with big, huge numbers that are going to build trust with your audience.
Absolutely. And then another thing, Dr. Sarah, our on-staff board certified vet nutritionist. So just like other brands that we saw that bring in a vet, this one just takes it a step further because there are only 100 brand certified vet nutritionists in the US and they have one on their team. So that just increases the credibility of their products.
Exactly. Yeah.
Next brand that we have is Made by Nacho. This is actually one brand that we have worked with, and I think this looks wonderful.
Yeah, you might recognize somebody famous in this design. That's Bobby Flay. He is one of the top chefs in the world. He came up with his own line of pet food to take care of his cat, Nacho. So Nacho and Bobby bring you Made by Nacho.
Nice.
And so what I love about this design and bringing this to life is that they had stellar branding and stellar packaging and a lot of playful colors that we were able to bring in through the design and weave it throughout. So again, we're leaning on the best practices, fun photos of pets, lots of real shots of pets. Obviously, we got to lean on the credibility of Bobby Flay being an incredible chef and Nacho's dad. But then look at these very high-res, incredible photography of Bobby and Nacho. So weaving in a different type of storytelling approach that we're also familiar with, right? Because we are connected to that love of our pet. And that's what Bobby is bringing to the forefront, is that connection and that love for his pet Nacho and how he wanted to make sure that his cat was taken care of with this food. So that's how they are connecting to the trust factor throughout their designs that you see here.
Right. I also just love the bold colors. It looks so fun. It's so Instagrammable too,
Yes,
right?
the packaging is really well done. I'm actually curious which designer did this packaging. So if their designer is watching this, please let us know so we can tag you in the comments.
Okay. Next brand is Woof.
This is one of my favorite brands in the pet space right now. I love this aesthetic. Look at the custom illustrations that are done throughout. Look at the mix of fonts going from a script font to more of a straight font. Like it just brings in those elements of fun throughout. You'll also notice they've introduced a softer color palette behind the product that has a really bold, crisp color palette. Lots of beautiful photography throughout. Full transparency, not our client. I'm just obsessed with them. Love their products. My guy Chanchi has the one that you see here that you lick the little peanut butter treats out, and they even give you a little recipe card that shows you all the recipes that you can make at home, so you don't have to buy the refills if you don't want to. So I was able to actually buy the toy, bring it to Peru, and then use the little recipe cards to make recipes to put inside of it on my own, which is awesome. I love that they do that. They're not requiring you to buy their treat. So that, for me as a consumer, helped build trust with their brand. And did you see those badges at the bottom of their storefront? Fantastic awards. Anytime you can build your badges into an award, showcase that. Showcase it on your product images. Showcase it on your A+ content. Showcase it on your storefront. So again, we talked about making them navigation very easy to get to the products that you're looking for. They do this extremely well. And you see the entire design is just stunning and fun. And one thing that I didn't see here, but they did during the holidays that I shared on my LinkedIn, is they did a splash page feature for the holidays, which is a feature you can do on your storefront that you can upload any image and it'll kind of show up for 3 seconds. So what they did is beautiful GIF of all their products for the holidays, and it had this shimmery, glittery effect to it. So it was like the first thing you saw, and it was a holiday version, and every single product on this entire storefront was dressed up in a holiday scheme. But it was a very well done seasonal takeover. Probably one of the best examples I've ever seen, because most of the seasonal refreshes that I see are overly cheesy with ornaments everywhere and really horrible ribbons. They just did a really simple treatment for holiday to their products, and it was just so well done. So love this one. We are not working with them, but whoever is working with them, kudos to you guys. We are fans.
Yeah. Next brand we have is Native Pet. And can we just talk about the beautiful colors?
Yes.
All right. I just love the color combinations going on. And also, the first thing that you're going to see as soon as you land on their storefront storefront is the 40% off on your first subscribe and save order.
Very
right at the top.
smart.
Boom. That is so smart. And you're basically just hooking high intent buyers. Anybody who comes to your storefront is a high intent buyer because they're consciously clicking to see your storefront. And basically, you're hooking people the second they land to your listing and you're getting them onto the subscription.
This image is actually serving dual function. It's hooking you into the subscribe and save messaging right away, but it's also showing you the family of products. So it's also building that like subconscious trust factor right away. It's doing two things at once without you even realizing it. Right after this subscribe and save, what's interesting to me is that there's two sections that show you vet and vet. So you have the vet with the text and all of the badges, and then you have this video of a vet. So you have two banners that are just saying like vet approved, all of our badges, and here's a vet in the video. So like that is the common theme we have been seeing across all of these storefronts. So if you're not picking up what we're dropping here, you need to be building trust so that people understand that your product is safe for their beloved pet.
Absolutely. I love this video. And look at these images. They're not leading with the product, they're leading with the solution. Daily care, gut health plus digestions and whatnot. And every single image is a different dog, which I love because you have many different dogs. And you need to show absolutely as many dog types you can because you want everybody to relate to this. When customers see their dogs, they just tend to trust the product even more. And Native Pet does exactly that. In every single image, they're leading with a different product, a different dog breed. Beautiful images, especially this one.
I love the tongue. That is a chef's kiss. And the dog sleeping next to him, the stress and anxiety. He is not stressed now. He looks so calm.
Yes.
And the two in the top right corner, it's again, we're getting into emotional evoking pet photography and easy navigating by function. It's dual purpose. It's serving two functions at the same time. Again, just like what we talked about at the top of the fold. So Native Pet, bravo. Well done. FYI, I just did a breakdown of Native Pet's excellent main image testing that they were doing during Prime Day. They really stirred up a lot of commotion with the LinkedIn community, who is like all the Amazon gurus on there. They did such a fantastic job of using a lot of the best practices that we like to use on our main images. But what you'll notice here is this is their product packaging, and they completely altered every single main image for Prime Day. So if you want a deep dive of this, be sure to check out my Substack. And I shared a lot of examples of some of the same stuff we have done with brands that we've worked with as well. So you can see how to deploy this on your product pages. But back to storefronts.
One thing that absolutely stood out to me was the proof is in the pups. Now, these are the numbers. It says 86% saw a visible improvement in the quality of life. Now, you can already see the pattern in most of the pet storefronts. They are leading with proof and numbers, real numbers. They're not just telling you it's good. They're showing you the receipts.
Yeah, again, look at the fine print. Data collected from a survey sent to verified purchasers of Native Pet, 600 respondents.
Wow.
So you don't have to have a big email list to do this, to add credibility to your product, to give transparency to the customer. That's the best practice here.
I love that. And once again, Native Pet also has real customer reviews. I also just love that they have like Molly.
Yeah.
Molly's mom.
And if you look at that, showing Molly is a senior dog.
Yeah.
So people with older dogs can also identify with this product. So like we said in the beginning, like having different ages, having different breeds, having different dog sizes, all of that is important because people see their dog, they're going to better identify with the product.
Next brand that we're going to talk about, this is the last brand, it's WagWell.
Finishing off strong. I love this one because it brings in some of the themes that we've talked about in other categories, but something that we've seen done really well is bringing in color theory, color psychology to your brand. A softer color palette lends itself to the wellness category, and we've seen this play through in our split testing as well. If you look at the name of this brand, it's called WagWell. They're associated with wellness products for your pet. You would want to use a color palette that associates subconsciously with wellness, and this is what they're doing here. We've seen this done really well in the supplement space. We've seen it done really well in the beauty space, and now this brand is bringing it to the actual pet category. So we wanted to highlight this one and show that it doesn't have to always be bold and bright. It can also be soft and still playful. You notice the colors are still bright. They're not just as bold as what we see with one of our clients like Zesty Paws, for example. Zesty Paws became known in the industry for going with a big, vibrant orange, and they've been like the poster child for Amazon forever. And they leaned into orange early on, and that's what they've become associated with. But you don't have to go that direction. You can do other palettes as well, and they can perform just as well. So these guys are leaning into more of a softer color palette, and they're doing a lot of the best practices on here really well. What's interesting about this one that contrasts from the other examples that we saw is the other ones take a more, I would say, custom tailored approach where everything feels very unique with the icons and the illustrations and the fonts. But this is a good example of when you're starting out, you can still do something really nice and special, and it doesn't have to be over the top. This is a great example of a minimalist approach when you don't have maybe all the assets to build out something custom, or you haven't fully built out your brand. This is what I call step laddering into your brand identity. And while you're figuring it out, it will grow with you.
Daniela, tell me if you're seeing this or not, but do you know the brand Good Molecules, the skincare brand? This is giving exactly that, but for pets. The colors, the fonts, the way that it is, it's giving Good Molecules, the real images, the simplistic vibe,
it's giving
and the
Good
wellness
Molecules.
Energy, right?
For sure. If you want to see what we're talking about, you'll definitely want to check that breakdown of Good Molecules out so you can compare the differences for beauty brands. So be sure to check that out. So that concludes our roundup of storefronts in the pet category. You were so good. Thank you for sleeping through the entire video. If anybody was curious about the split testing that we do, the tools that we use, we link to all of our favorite tools in the show notes down below. You can check out our website with lots of case studies of brands in lots of different categories, including the pet category. And we will see you in the next video.
Bye.